Happy Monday. Good morning to everyone. I don't know what's going on with Facebook. It must be all their strange changes that they're doing. They're not allowing all the features you usually have on a video. So at the moment I'm mirrored, so it looks like it's backwards a little bit. But anyway, we'll persist. So join Jackie Mondays at 10 a.m. I'll do a short snippet of legal information for you. If there are topics or questions that you have, you can direct message us or email through our website has all our direct emails. So today I'm talking about, well, what is the sandwich generation? Now the sandwich generation is this concept that it's more likely the baby boomer generation. So the concept of those people who have adult children and they have aging parents. So they've got the pressures of starting to have to plan for their parents' failing health and making sure that they can do everything that they legally need to do for their parents' care. They've also got young adult children, maybe in their 20s or early 30s, maybe they're starting to have grandkids already. So they have that understanding that, oh, if something happens to one of my kids, I'm probably going to have to raise those grandkids potentially. And, you know, if their kids are going through relationship problems, basically the sandwich generation is sandwiched between these two generations on either side that require them, that need them still and rely on them. So the elderly parents are relying on them to have some concept of what they're going to need longer term for their care, and their children who are growing up might still rely on them a fair bit as well in terms of stability, maybe coming home after a separation here or there, maybe relying on them fairly heavily for some free childcare here and there. But certainly there's an understanding that they're probably going to get those grandkids if something happened to their kids. So it can be a whole lot of pressure, and you don't want anything to go wrong in any of those generations. And you want to make sure things are as lined up as possible to make things as easy as possible for you as well if something does go wrong. But not only that, what if something happens to you? And then the generations on either side of you have lost that reliability that is you that they need. So that is why I talk about the concept of the sandwich generation for estate planning, because the sandwich generation is going to have to be the ones that drive their parents to make sure that they have their affairs in order, to make their own life easier. To have those conversations about, are they up to date? Do you have your medical powers of attorney done? Do you have your enduring powers of attorney done? Do you have advanced healthcare directives? What's happening with your super? All those sorts of conversations. What their wishes are, so that the sandwich generation is able to carry out the wishes, because if they don't know, you know, it's that much extra pressure to have to try and work out, well, what would mum want in this situation when you're already stressed and grieving? Same thing for your kids. You don't want the uncertainty of the super not being directed where it needs to go, trusts not being set up for children when they're young, not having a definitive guardian appointed, because if there is no guardian appointed for the grandkids, there's quite often a legal battle around, well, who's going to care for those kids and who's going to look after the money. So you also want that as easy as possible. So the sandwich generation ends up not only being the responsible, reliable generation, but the one having to have the conversations with the generations on either side of them to make sure that their stuff is sorted out, that their affairs are sorted, so that it makes your own life easier. And then what if something happens to the people in the sandwich generation? So they also have to make sure that they have their stuff sorted. They can no longer rely on their parents to be their executors in their will. They have to start thinking about the generation below, more than likely. So there's a whole lot of things that the sandwich generation takes on board. And this is why they're sandwiched. They're sandwiched between the older generation and their adult children and having all that responsibility. So let's ease that responsibility a little bit. Let's make it as easy as possible and get those sandwich generation people having the conversations with their elderly parents to get their affairs sorted, their kids to have their affairs sorted, and then finally sort themselves out as well, so that there's no doubt that everything is going to happen as smoothly as it can, that there's not going to be extra stress created just because this stuff hasn't been attended to. So that is the sandwich generation and what they need to be thinking about. So these videos, while I do them live, I will save them onto the page. If you go to the video section on the TBA Law page, there are all the past videos as well. So there's lots there you can look through for topics that are relevant for you. If any of the topics are relevant for you or anyone else you know, please tag them in the comments, or you can direct message them the video if it's more private. Again, every Monday at 10 I'm doing these. If there's a particular topic you want me to talk on, please direct message us and let us know. Otherwise, I hope you have a great week, and let's hope that Facebook starts sorting itself out a little bit for all us Aussies, or else we'll just be on there less and less. All right, take care until next Monday.